oven of Ag Lunch, which will include some ag information and a chicken fried steak, some jalapeno gravy, plenty of Nanny's yeast rolls, a cold cucumber salad, and a glass of iced tea to boot. Neighbor, let's take a look at ag weather for the region. We'll use the San Antonio area because it's right in the big old middle of Down on the Farm Country. Down on the Farm Country goes from Abilene all the way down to Corpus. As we look for the forecast today, sunny, 85 the high, 57 the low. Saturday, sunny, 87 the high, 60 the low. Sunday, same song, second verse. Monday, same song, third verse. Tuesday, 89 and 61 under the sun. Wednesday, 89 and 61 under the sun. Thursday, less clouds, 89 and 61 under the sun. Neighbor, this record is stuck. Friday the 9th, 89 and 61 under the sun. And Saturday the 10th, and Sunday the 11th, 89 and 63, 88 and 65. Neighbor, we don't have a chance of participating in any precipitation through that period of time here in Down on the Farm Country either. Neighbor, that weather in this portion of Down on the Farm is brought to you by D&D Farm and Ranch on I-10 in Seguin. Let's talk to one of the folks from D&D right now. We're on the line with Wade Floyd from D&D Texas Outfitters Seguin. Wade, everybody thinks about deer in the fall, but we really need to take care of the protein situation all year round. What do you got to offer us this week?
Yeah, Larry, we do Antler Max proteins and your Antler Advantage made by Purina. They're some of the best that if you feed them year-round, you really do see the result. We also carry a Double Down protein that's been becoming very more popular.
And we want you to get it at D&D in Seguin. Wade Floyd, tell everybody how to contact you.
Larry, they can call me here at the store at 830-379-7340, extension 180.
Thank you, Wade. Neighbor, now let's check in with Jessica Dommel from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio News Desk.
Grain Stocks Report. I'm Jessica Dommel with the update on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. There were some surprises in USDA's reports on grain stocks and wheat production yesterday. USDA's Gary Crawford has more.
The biggest surprise, USDA's estimate of September 1st soybean stocks, 523 million bushels. Lance Honig with USDA Statistics Service.
That's down 42.4% from the same time a year earlier.
And despite stocks still being fourth largest ever, the USDA estimate was below most all of the guesses by the trade analysts. Corn stocks number 2 billion bushels even. Also,
it's a bit lower than most folks were anticipating.
And down just over 10% below a year ago. In September 1, wheat stocks just over 2 billion bushels, 2.16, down 8% from a year ago. And Lance Honig says,
a little bit lower than most folks expected.
That report from USDA's Gary Crawford.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Now your class speaker, sharpen herbicide.
Wow, thanks everyone. What a ride it's been. Dominant performance in desiccation and weed management, rapid dry down and defoliation while reducing regrowth, years of efficiency. And whatever our future fields hold, we'll always deliver that same premium harvest aid.
Sharpen herbicide, everyone. Your top harvest aid performer in any field. Always read and follow label directions.
For the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network, I'm Jessica Dommel.
Hey there, neighbor. Larry Marble back with you. Let's check corn, beans, and wheat and see what the bull and bear indicators from DTN are today. On the bull side, weekly export sales of both corn and soybeans are record large for the last week of September, pushing both programs to new records for the year. Also on the bull side, the corn, soybean, and Chicago wheat option volatility term structures are inverted through most of 2021, highlighting the elevated interest and price environment that have come back into the grains. As we look toward bear side indicators, August industry-wide soybean crush totaled 174.7 million bushels, below expectations. Also on that bear side, the front month spread between gasoline futures and ethanol trade is minus 26 cents per gallon. That's the lowest trade since May. And front month soybeans in overseas commodity exchanges traded at their lowest level since March the 23rd, while ours were at one of their highest. Neighbor, let's check cotton while we have just a moment, and reminding you that cotton is always slow to start, so let's see what might be affecting it today. The cotton market continues to host a well-defined up-channel pattern, which originated from the string of spring COVID-19 happenings of 50.18 cents basis December and has risen to its present position. Such bullish price flow has the main encouragement for speculators to buy and maintain their net long positions. Today, we will see the Labor Department issue its jobs report, and that always seems to have some short-term effect on cotton. Neighbor will check live cattle, feeder cattle, and lean hogs after this.
This isn't what gets a cotton grower up. What gets a cotton grower up isn't made of plastic-covered electronics. It's made of heart, determination, the calling that doesn't need a buzzer. Because you know, early is the key to success. Stoneville Cotton knows too. It gets out of the ground earlier and establishes a healthy stand quicker, so it's less vulnerable to weeds, weather, and insects. For a stronger finish, own the early with Stoneville Cotton. BASF. We create chemistry. Always read and follow label directions.
Neighbor, let's take a look at bull and bear indicators. Again, according to DTN, in regards to livestock, on the bull side, continued support in the cash cattle trade is sparking renewed interest from a fundamental and a technical perspective. This is likely to add increased end-of-the-week support to the live cattle market. Also, open interest continues to steadily and slowly increase in live futures. This is drawing additional traders back into the marketplace who have been absent for the last several months. We also saw some sharp gains in the pork cutout values. They flooded the market, with cutout prices surging more than $4 per hundredweight on Thursday, pointing to further gains ahead in the marketplace. Of course, those are bull indicators. Let's check the bear side of that trading coin. Market futures pressure in the live cattle and feeder cattle trade is offsetting some of that firm cash market gain we talked about earlier. The concern that support through the end of the quarter may not hold is limiting the market optimism. Also, short and long-term beef demand growth continues to be a major concern to live cattle traders. Although retail beef movement remains strong, the concern about the health and regrowth of the food service industry and its demand, including sit-down restaurant business, will be a significant factor in moving additional high-value beef cuts forward. We need to get those restaurants open. We need to get those school cafeterias open. All of those kinds of things have to happen to where we continue that upward movement. Neighbor, it's about time for Hop Sing to serve us lunch. Chicken fried steak, jalapeno gravy, plenty of anise rolls, and a cold cucumber salad, iced tea, cup of coffee, soda water, whichever you prefer. Grab as much or as little as you'd like. We'd just like you to participate by listening to this report from Ken Jordan. We spoke at almost midnight last night because they had a great sale day. Ken, talk to us about how many noses you counted and the price and quality.
You bet, Larry. We ended up right at 3,037 head, and with that and the Monday special sale, we've had about a little over 6,000 this week. I thought overall today, the quality of cattle was exceptionally good. A lot of good strings of calves and yearlings that were on hand. I thought overall demand was very strong. The market was quite active on all calves and yearling. The lighter weight stocker steers, I thought overall they sold probably today 5 to 7 higher. A lot of demand on these cattle going to wheat fields. I had 6 steers today, weighed 314, had a lot of condition on them, brought $2.18 a pound, right at $685 on those. Another draft of 23 steers, weighed 533, brought $1.56, 800, and right at $32 on those. I thought the lighter stocker heifers, they probably sold a full $5 higher. Now, you get in the real fleshy and fat calves, I probably thought they were over 2 to 3 lower. They're just a little different animal to get on wheat. They're going to have to adjust, lose a little of that flesh and all that. And so that's why they're a little lower. Packer cows were $5 lower today. Bulls are $3 to $4 lower. We're seeing a lot of cows all over the country. Kind of hit the market now, and it's kind of pressured it a little bit the last couple of weeks. I thought pairs and bred cows overall sold higher and very good demand as a whole, Larry.
Do we know anything for Mason, for Monday?
Yeah, I know a couple of groups of calves are coming, so I look for a pretty good run, kind of like around that 1,000 head or something like that. The weather looks to be real good, too, shaping up for that sale, Larry.
Tell everybody how to contact you.
You bet. Give us a call, Larry. Code 325-372-5159. Everybody may keep it in mind a little bit. You're starting our bull sales up, and that'll be on the 15th of October, featuring Martin Bruni's Brangus bulls. We've got 30 of those, and Angus of Clear Creek up here close to Brownwood. Got 25 of those, and several other bulls. About 100 bulls will be here all ready to go for you.
Good deal, Ken. We'll talk to you Sunday evening.
You bet, Larry. Thank you.
Your rights are under attack, and the 17,000-plus members of the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association are here to help you fight back. We invite you to join us in our efforts to safeguard the ranching way of life. The benefits of the TSCRA are many, ranging from our political watchdog efforts to continuing education to discounts on items you use every day and more. For more information, call 800-242-7820 or go to www.tscra.org. Neighbor, I think I can hear cattle building up in the alleyway, getting ready for the sale in Lexington on Saturday. Russell Heller family and their crew. Russell, what's that sale looking like Friday?
Yes, sir. I know of 3 sets of calves so far that are coming.
How are they bred?
2 sets of them will be good black, and 1 set will be a Charolais crosses.
Good deal. Just for perspective, what are the weight ranges?
Yes, sir. 1 set of them is probably going to be about 50 or 60, and they'll weigh anywhere from probably 5 to 650. They'll be thin, and then they'll probably be about 75 other black calves, and they'll be real good quality, probably 5.5 to 7.5.
Okay. Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you and what time the sale starts at Lexington on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Sale starts at 12 noon on Saturday. You can get me on my cell, and that number is 979-820-7002.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry.
Neighbor weather is very important to our Texas farming and ranching neighbors. That's why we always start our shows with some weather, and we always depend on the good folks from Texas Farm Bureau Radio to provide us some in-depth reasons why things happen weather-wise the way they do. Tom Nicoletti is speaking about it on today's Texas News and Views.
Autumn La Nina forecast for Texas. I'm Tom Nicoletti with Texas News and Views from the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. More after these messages.
What's impressive about Pioneer brand sorghum? I'm here in the Rio Grande Valley, Texas, sorghum country, but also sugarcane aphid country. This field is one of over 60,000 test plots. That's a lot of data, and the reason why Pioneer sorghum dominates the industry in yield potential and sugarcane aphid tolerance. A test plot in the Rio Grande Valley, another place that makes Pioneer, Pioneer. Contact your local Pioneer sales representative.
Your seed decisions require reliable advice from a trusted partner. Make that partner Nutrien Ag Solutions. Count on our local crop consultants for custom recommendations and access to the best performing seed in the industry to make your investment work even harder. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Today we go to Fort Worth, and Tom Bradshaw, meteorologist with the National Weather Service, is my guest as we talk about the forecast for the month of October. But first, Tom, let's recap quickly September.
Well, it's good to talk with you again, Tom. And September did feature some generous rainfall amounts for a good part of Texas, basically the eastern two-thirds of the Lone Star State. We saw rainfall amounts anywhere from 5 to 10 inches across almost all of the eastern and central parts of the state. And that was really caused by a couple of different things. The first was a couple of very strong storm systems that swept across the state in early September, brought some very heavy rainfall amounts to the DFW Metroplex and down in the Austin area. And then later on in the month, we did have a tropical system by the name of Beta, which formed off the southeast Texas coast. And while that storm only reached moderate tropical storm strength, it did produce a number of inches of rainfall across the southeastern parts of Texas, basically from Corpus Christi up to Houston. The rainfall amounts anywhere from 5 to 10 inches. Unfortunately, the far west, to the Panhandle, the South Plains, the areas to Trans-Pecos area, they're still high and dry. Very little rainfall fell during the month of September, and those folks are really starting to face some significant drought situations as we go deeper into fall.
Now, as we go into October, Tom, farmers and ranchers have a lot of autumn activities, some planting, grazing of cattle and so forth, and then the urban residents looking for a cooler fall in Texas. What's the forecast, both temperature-wise and precipitation-wise?
Well, certainly as we get into the month of October, we start seeing more of these strong cold fronts sliding southward through the plains, moving through the entire state of Texas. And that's certainly good news for folks who want to have their windows open at night and enjoy some cool temperatures in the early morning hours. Overall, however, it does look like temperatures are going to be at or just above normal, particularly for daytime highs. So we'll still see quite a few 80s and even some 90s across parts of the state as we go through at least the first half of October. But at least morning lows will start getting down into some of the cooler regimes, some of the 50s and lower 60s in the south and even some 40s as we get into the Panhandle and the far western plains. As far as rainfall is concerned, that's kind of a different picture. We're starting to develop a La Nina pattern across the western United States, and what a La Nina pattern means for Texas is generally warm and markedly drier conditions than normal. So that's going to tend to exacerbate the drought conditions in the far western parts of the state, and even the remainder of central and eastern Texas will probably see rainfall amounts somewhat lower than what we normally see for the month of October. So dry and relatively warm is going to be the word for pretty much the entire Lone Star State for October.
And October is still a tropical season month, although quickly winding down, but people still need to be on guard for that. That again is Tom Bradshaw. He is National Weather Service meteorologist in Fort Worth.
Parenting is full of surprises.
You never know what to expect.
So after our son was born, I called my Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent to set up a life insurance policy in case something happened to me.
Sawyer is now 2.
And we'll soon have a sister. There's no one else I would trust with protecting my family.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com for an agent you can trust with life's most important decisions. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
This is Texas News and Views. I'm Tom Nicoletti with the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Neighbor, when you hear my cowboy crew riding hard, they're headed over to Lockhart to pick up the cattle we got bought Thursday at the sale. Madison Bexley and crew. Maddie, take a second and tell us how that sale went.
We ended up having a good day. We had 1535 with 301 cows and 29 bulls, 185 sellers, and 83 buyers.
Let's walk the pins.
On the starter cows, we got along real good. We had a lot to pick from this week. The good pairs brought from 11 to 16.50. The mediocre and middle aged from 8 1/4 to 10.50. The good bred cows from 8.50 to 12.75. The mediocre middle aged and shortbreds mostly 4.50 to 800. The packer cows and bulls would have been about steady with the week ago. The good high yielding cows from 50 to 66. The medium yielding from 40 to 49. The low yielding from 20 to 39. The good high yielding packer bulls from 81 to 91.5. The low and medium yielding from 60 to 80. And the cows and yearlings sold steady to a couple dollars better than a week ago on a good active market. So all in all, we got along real good this week.
Good. Are you aware of anything for next week?
No, sir, I don't know anything quite yet.
Tell everybody how to contact you, Madison.
Yeah, Larry, you can always check us out on Facebook, or you can call the barn at 512-398-3476. My cell phone at 979-540-9793. Or you can ring Bubba at 512-461-6091.
Neighbor, now it's time for the Texas Wildlife Radio Show. Jessica Dommel's at the mic. Jessica, what's our topic?
Archery hunting season. I'm Jessica Domel with the Texas Wildlife Radio Show on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. It is time to get your archery and crossbow equipment ready. The archery-only season for white-tailed deer, mule deer, and wild turkey kicks off in Texas Saturday, October 3rd. According to the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, expectations are high for white-tailed deer hunters thanks to recent rains, mild temperatures, and reported deer movements. Alan Kane, TPWD's white-tailed deer program leader, said recent rains have led to a flush of new growth on preferred native forages that should set the stage for good winter weed production, which is critical for deer late in the season. He said hunters and landowners have been seeing exceptional antler quality on deer cameras. Hunters are encouraged to be mindful of chronic wasting, disease containment, and surveillance zones when hunting, as some additional steps may be required. Zones and check stations are located in Kimball County, the Trans-Pecos region, South Central Texas, the Panhandle, and Valverde County. A list of the zones is available on the TPWD website and on OutdoorAnnual.com. Hunters must have a hunting license and archery endorsement. Archery season for white-tailed deer runs through November 6th. The general season opens November 7th. We'll have more after this.
Now your class speaker, sharpen herbicide.
Wow, thanks everyone. What a ride it's been. Dominant performance in desiccation and weed management, rapid dry down and defoliation while reducing regrowth, years of efficiency. And whatever our future fields hold, we'll always deliver that same premium harvest aid.
Sharpen herbicide, everyone. Your top harvest aid performer in any field. Always read and follow label directions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions strives to help you lead the field by providing access to the latest digital tools to meet today's farming challenges, including best of the best innovative technologies like real-time field monitoring and data collection, plus services to help you manage invoices, payments, and crop planning. Seize the opportunity this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
In Texas, there are 59 counties with an archery season for mule deer, and 149 of Texas' 254 counties have an archery-only wild turkey season. Archers are encouraged to consult the Outdoor Annual to ensure their county is listed before hunting. The Outdoor Annual also details the archery and crossbow equipment that is allowed during this time. The publication has not been printed this year. It is available on OutdoorAnnual.com and on the Outdoor Annual app for smartphones and tablets. For the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network, I'm Jessica Domel.
We're on the line with Leroy Kruger. Leroy, how's the bull business this week?
Well, last Friday we got in that load of bulls that we had coming south, and those Hereford bulls and Angus bulls, and they're really a nice set of 18 to 20-month-old bulls. Just come in here and sold handfuls out of that deal and sold a few other older Angus bulls this week. We got all the rest of the bulls all tested, all the 2.5-year-old Charolais bulls and all the older Angus and Hereford bulls have all been tricked and fertilities and retested. So we got everything pretty much ready to roll around here. If somebody needs one, we got a pretty good inventory on hand of Herefords and Charolais and Angus and a few black Simmentals and a Brangus scattered amongst the troops and one red Angus Hereford bull.
All right. Well, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Oh, they can get me on the mobile at 830-570-0660.
Neighbor, now it's time for a vignette from Texas Farm Bureau Roundup, the longest-running farm and ranch news program in the state. Tom Nicoletti is at the mic. Tom, who are you with and what's our topic?
With harvest of crops like corn and cotton getting underway, we'll soon start receiving the data to show us how much panhandle farmers suffered from a summer of harsh weather conditions. And as James Hunt reports, there could be concerns for cattle raisers, too.
What a summer indeed. Insufficient rain, brutal hot spells, and even a blast of premature winter about 3 weeks ago. Texas A&M AgriLife beef cattle specialist Jason Smith tells me, at the moment, ranchers and their cattle seem to have come through it all fairly well. But
the thing we need to keep in our mind moving forward would be that in a lot of situations, we may not see repercussions of some of those things until later on down the road. And so maybe with some of those excessive hot spells during the breeding season, that may mean more open cows or cows that didn't get pregnant until later into the breeding season.
of course, ranchers can't know for sure about those things until they have their cows checked after breeding season.
Or if it's a rancher that may not be doing anything like that, then they may not realize some of those repercussions until that full gestation length down the road. And so if we figure the average gestation length is 283 days, it may be a considerable amount of time if somebody's not pregnancy checking to realize that maybe they didn't get as long as well as they had hoped to.
So for the purpose of making timely and informed management decisions, Dr. Smith recommends doing those checks early.
For a lot of our spring calving herds, now is probably going to be a decent time to either start pregnancy diagnosis or at least start thinking about planning it for the fall. But the sooner the better.
And as we head toward winter with the forage supply challenged, Smith says ranchers need to keep input cost in line.
That doesn't mean that we should avoid supplementation. I would argue the exact opposite, that if we need to be supplementing nutrients, then we absolutely do that, but we focus on value of those supplemental feedstuff options and use that information to make those decisions. And hopefully we're able to cut some costs doing that.
And as to decisions about their herds,
Any animal that's not absolutely necessary for success of the operation, I think we should consider marketing them.
some tough calls to be made soon. Reporting for Farm Bureau Roundup in Amarillo, I'm James Hunt.
This isn't what gets a cotton grower up. What gets a cotton grower up isn't made of plastic-covered electronics. It's made of heart, determination, the calling that doesn't need a buzzer. Because you know, early is the key to success. Stoneville Cotton knows too. It gets out of the ground earlier and establishes a healthy stand quicker, so it's less vulnerable to weeds, weather, and insects. For a stronger finish, own the early with Stoneville Cotton. BASF. We create chemistry. Always read and follow label directions.
Neighbor, let's take a look at the grains courtesy of John Tuggle, 800-288-4453. Milo through Corpus in October, Dees plus $2, $10.41. Progresso $8.50. Yellow corn through Corpus in October, Dees plus $35, $4.17 3/4. Calling Houston, Dees plus $30, $4.12 3/4. Progresso $8 by the hundredweight. Hard red winter wheat through Corpus in October, Dees plus 75, 581.5. We'll call Houston Dees plus $1 bill, 606.5. And we'll call Houston beans, October, November delivery, November less 15, 1008.5. We'll call Placido, November less 60, 963.5. We move 4,031 bale of East Texas cotton, 2,118 bale of West Texas. Prices range from $59.66 to $61.91. Neighbor, looks to me like that is all the time we've got for this edition of our program. Of course, we call it Down on the Farm, and they call me Larry Marble, and I call you my neighbor. Neighbor, I hope you enjoy our programs. You can catch them on the web. You can catch them on our Down on the Farm Radio Facebook page and most other social media platforms. Until Monday, good day.